按用英文，英文不出来你就比手画脚。我们来试试看这是什么样的感觉。Okay, so today we are very glad to have this opportunity with such a bunch of magnificent students as you are. We are going to talk about the economics, the basic picture. So I am going to teach you about the basics of economics, its definitions, and what are the basic concepts you must have when you are mastering this principle. Principle means the subject that you're learning. And I will give you a bigger picture to let you understand. There are two major sub-principles of economics. One is the microeconomics, which most of you are learning now. You learn about personal or a firm's demand and supply, right? You learn about shortage. You have also learned about overproduction. Okay, this mostly has to do with the micro part of the economics. The macro economics is somewhat different. Now, as we move on, this is a comparison table which shows you the difference between micro and macroeconomics. Of course, when you enter college, most of you, we will start from microeconomics. Okay? Now, the focus of microeconomics is on the individual. So, when you are learning microeconomics, you try to think about what an individual is doing. What is he thinking about? And the context, which means the environment, the theoretical environment, the system that we picture ourselves, is other things could be controlled and remaining the same. You all know this, because when you are discussing about price and quantity, you are assuming that other things that influence the quantity will not change, so that you can focus on the relation between price and quantity. You have learned this, right? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. If price goes up and the quantity of demand goes down, this is what we learn about the principle of what? Of demand or of supply? Demand, very good. Okay, so this is the context settings of microeconomics. And its applications is mostly on pricing. What's pricing? How do we define the price? Whether the price is too high or whether the price is too low. When the price is on the equilibrium, the price will not change. When you set a price too high, you may have goods and services unable to be sold because it's priced too high. So you will have a overproduction. So consumers will not buy so much. Then the price will guide you to lower your commodity, your goods prices. Okay, so this is what we call pricing. This is what microeconomics wants you to do. It helps you to decide what price should you set for a certain product. Okay, so this is pricing, and also we discuss about the welfare. Now this is a further notion. Welfare means 福利 in 中文. Okay, now you've learned it in your 7th grade, like social welfare, social insurance. We know that. Why is welfare related to microeconomics? Because in here, the welfare means the good and the utility, the good things you receive as an individual. As an individual. We concern only about the individual in microeconomics. So you just understand it first, because we're not going deep into that. And another application has to do with international trade. You will be learning about the division of labor here, okay? About who gets to produce what. It's the better division. For instance, should Taiwan produce computers instead of bicycles? Or should the US produce microchips instead of hamburgers? This is to be discussed, and it could be helped if you know economics well. It could help you decide who does what in the professionally division of labor system. Okay. All right. So this has to do with international trade. And international trade, the basic members in the internationals are also the firms. So firms is also individual. Now, in the end, the tools that you use mainly is demand and supply. And as you all know, that we already have a basic understanding of what is demand, what is supply. Okay, this is micro. Most of you already knew microeconomics. You just don't know that you are actually learning the micro subversion of economics. Okay? But the other part here is about macroeconomics. You are getting a little taste of macroeconomics right now because we have just taught you the notion about inflation. In micro and macroeconomics, we put our focus and our perspective on not the individual, but as the whole country. We look on the whole country, the whole economics, as an entity, as a thing, as a person. Okay? So we don't concern about the small individuals. We concern about the whole. So in macroeconomics, you will try to discuss problems about GDP. Now, anyone does not know a basic understanding what is GDP. What is GDP? GDP means the whole product, the end product, the whole total product produced in a certain country. Okay? You know GDP? GDP is, how do we say? Like the government. The government says our GDP is growing. That means the economic condition is moving up. 经济在成长, okay? Yeah, thanks. Okay, I see your faces. Now that's one word that you don't know. GDP, that's gross domestic product. You often heard about that. Okay? The government says 拼经济. Let's build let's build some Disneyland in Kaohsiung. Okay, that's quite okay. Yeah, they are all searching to make societies product more. Okay, when you produce more, that means more production is going on, and that means more people are employed instead of being unemployed. Okay, right. This is a different angle of economics, and they both have their concerns and also their applications. And in macroeconomics, we talk about the aggregate. Aggregate means the total sum of demand. For instance, in microeconomics, you will say, I will study about the demand of this projector, the demand of me. But in macroeconomics, you ask questions as, what is aggregate demand? That means you are concerning about what the society as a whole wants. You don't concern about what he wants or she wants because they are individuals. They're only one person, one unit. In macro, we ask about the society as one. Okay? Do you understand what I'm trying to compare? All right, this is macro and micro. So when you talk about issues about GDPs and employment, this is about society. Yeah, it has something to do with individuals, but this is a macro issue, okay? All right, this is the basic understanding of the two different types of economics. And, all right, let's go into some basic notions that you should know. Like microeconomics. What is economics? You have learned this in your textbook. Infinite desire. What is infinite desire? What is desire in Chinese? Yeah. What did you learn? The first thing about economics. Is your desire controllable? No, we want many things, but you face the problem of what? A limited what? Resource. So under this dilemma, it means that you cannot have both. In Chinese, we say this is 两难. Okay, you cannot get all of them. Economics, it serves as a social science subject that helps you deal with this problem, this dilemma, and it helps us find one most efficient way. That efficient way shows up on your chart where the demand and the supply meets, okay? That we call it the equilibrium point. So this is what economics helps you. It is a tool that helps you make the best decision, and this best decision is defined as a most efficient way of organizing resources and so on. Okay, this is economics. Then the first notion everybody learns about economics is what we call opportunity cost. Okay, you just took a test, a monthly test, that asked you to calculate what is opportunity cost. Then what is opportunity cost in English? Opportunity cost is the cost that we usually think as an economics. All economic thinkings use the notion of opportunity cost. And the meaning of it is about the highest value that you give up. If you have many alternatives, many options, and you make a choice, then the unselected options, the best of them, the highest of them, or the ones most favorable to you, you like it most, the one that you like most, or the highest value to you most, is the opportunity cost when you make that particular decision. Okay? This should have no problem. You all should understand this meaning, right? In Chinese. Yeah, you did a lot of practices, selections on it. Okay, so every choice involves a trade-off. What is a trade-off? Means when I do something, I must give up something. When making the decision, that opportunity cost provided is your trade-off. Trade-off means you make a decision, and the trade-off is what you have not selected or have missed the opportunity to get. Okay? So this is a trade-off. Everything comes with a cost, and that cost is the opportunity cost. And also we know when doing test problems, they want you to calculate opportunity cost, which includes explicit and implicit cost. You know this. What is explicit? Explicit is like you don't go to work. You go to a movies and you pay for $200 and you watch the movie. You pay for another $50 for popcorn. That is explicit. What is it? Yeah, 外省成本. Okay, and implicit cost, which means that the cost that you should have earned, but you did not earn because you made this decision. You go to the movies, you don't get paid because you're not working. Okay, so this is the definition of opportunity cost. All right, now we are now going to a different topic that has to do with opportunity cost, and that is called the production possibilities frontier. Now, could I have everybody's attention? Try to read this again. Production possibilities frontier. Production possibilities frontier. Now, it's easier to read the initials. What? PPF. Okay? So we will try to use PPF to explain this. Now, what is PPF? Its basic story is like this. Suppose you are in a world, and in this world, you could only produce two kinds of things. One is the apple, the other is banana. Nothing else, other things remaining the same. Remember, we are still in the world of microeconomics. We have to control other influential factors to not influence the outcome. Okay, now apples, this is a production set. And the most important thing is that under this table, we have resources. And all the resources must be completely used to produce apple and banana. So if you use all the resources, all the people, all the natural resources to produce apple, you get 15 apples and 0 banana. Okay, is this okay? All right, but this is not the only way to use the whole resource. You could also produce 1 banana, give up how many apples? 1 apple. You could produce 1 more banana, assuming that if it's possible. Another banana will cost you how many apples? 2 apples. So another banana costs you 3 apples, and another banana costs you 4 apples, and the final banana costs you 5 apples. I am phrasing this, I'm trying to describe this under a opportunity cost fashion. I'm already telling you the opportunity cost of each banana being produced. Okay, so let's get explanations out. So if we draw a chart with x-axis and y-axis, we could use these numbers and draw a picture like this. Okay, this is what the picture shows like. And in this picture, it shows we could put all these production sets as points and link them into a curve. This is why some people call this a PPC, not a PPF. But the frontier, the meaning of frontier means you have a given amount of resource. The resource is fixed. It is just that this much. You don't get more, you just have this much. And all these production points means that you are using all the resources. You have nothing left to produce anything more. Okay, so this is a linkage of the frontier. The frontier means every set of the production is a complete use of the resource. Does everybody get this? Okay, we have no more resource. Complete usage is like this. Okay, so we go further like this. Oh, since we have this PPF here, this PPF shows you all the possible combinations of apples and bananas when you are using all the resources. Nothing left. I'm emphasizing this twice because it's very important. 老师讲3次很重要. Okay, the amount of apples decreased represents the opportunity cost of each banana being produced. So now you can see from this chart, it shows you when you want 1 banana, you get less apple, this much, you get this less apple. This is the first banana. And the second, the third, the fourth, and the 5th banana comes like this. Okay? This is the amount of its opportunity cost. Apples, for apples that we don't produce, or apples less than that we could not produce, is the opportunity cost of the banana. Okay? So you discover one thing. Every banana produced, we have to give up apples. And there is another trend. Does anybody see what is the changing of this? What is the changing of this? Is the opportunity cost the same for each banana? No. So I'm going to introduce to you an unfamiliar but very important notion. This is called marginal. Marginal, please rephrase after me, marginal. What is marginal? Marginal means, it's very easy. Marginal means 1 more. The 1 more. For instance, what is the marginal opportunity cost of the first banana? Okay, then we say it's the marginal. Marginal means the first and the second. Only that one. One more means marginal. Okay, the latest one. Okay, so marginal means one more. That means the latest one in economics. We always use marginal. And we use it very constantly. We use phrases like average, marginal, so you just know it now. You just know one more. Okay, now if you know marginal, then marginal cost means the cost of producing what more? One more, yeah, one more banana. Okay, so cost, the marginal cost, the opportunity cost of producing one banana is what? Is the same or it is what? It is increasing. We call this informally the increasing of marginal cost principle. Okay? Marginal cost is oftentimes not the same. The cost is increasing. Okay? For instance, if you are having a meal, you eat a bowl of rice, you are hungry. You eat the first bowl of rice, it gives you pleasure, I'm happy. You eat second bowl of rice, I'm full. You eat third bowl of rice, you have to come to get marginal cost. Oh, I'm so full. I feel bad. Okay. And if you eat too much, you go to the men's room. Okay, or maybe the health center. Okay. So things happen like that. All right. This is marginal cost. Now we are going to the final phrase. We're going to tell you what the PPF means. What does this chart tells you and how do you analyze it? When you see a PPF, the dots on the line represents the combination, means how many apples, how many bananas are produced. And one more important thing, every combination is what? Is the what usage of resource? Full usage of resource. Okay? So that makes us think. If full usage of resource, that means you have nothing left, is on this line, then every point within this line, like a point X, this is a combination of bananas and apples. But what is the difference? If you make this production, do you still have resource left? Great, very good. That means you really understand me. Oh, great. Give yourselves a big hand. Okay? Since the line represents the full usage, nothing left, then the points inside here, okay? Here, like X, is an inefficient way of production. It means you're not fully using the resource. You should have some people over there, you have some natural resources unused in here, okay? So this is an inefficient production. You still can get more. You can go this way. But if it's a point outside of this curve, then it is not possibly done under your current resource because you only have this much. If you want to produce more than this frontier, this is the limit. Okay? So this is why they call it a frontier. This is the limit that you can do mostly with your current now, what you have, resource. Okay? So if you want to achieve a combination of production outside of this frontier, is it possible? No. But it will only be possible unless you have what? More resources. Okay? So this is what we try to express to you about opportunity cost and the trade-off. Trade-off means every banana you trade off apple. Every banana trade off an apple. And you learn about what is marginal. Marginal means to get an additional banana. Okay, that means the marginal. The additional banana means the margin. Okay, You have 2 pens, you have 2 pencils. You want to get a new pencil, you want to buy more pencil. The more pencil, the 1 pencil that you newly bought is the margin. Okay? If you know this, if you try to, if you could digest mostly what I'm talking about in this class, then I suppose this short but intense lecture is finished and we can switch back to Chinese. Okay, thank you everybody.